Hello, donks. Welcome to After the Beat. Luke Thomas, Danny Segura, Brian Campbell, Iceman Chuck Mindenhall, and now you. As I mentioned, we have taken your tweets. We have selected some to answer. You have sent them using the hashtag #TheMMABeat. Always keep sending them. We always look at them. You might be like, oh, they didn't select them this week, but if it's good enough and it's still evergreen enough, we can pick up some from last week. We have done that, and I always look at them. So be sure to tag them using the hashtag #TheMMABeat. Without further ado, what's up first? All right, let's go to Danny first. Danny, what do you guys think of the UFC Europe production team? They make fights feel bigger. It's fresh. I'm not sure what language is. What is the most important thing the USA team can, if there are separate teams, can learn from them? Now, part of what they think they're driving at is there was that Darren Till BT Sport thing before the fight with Woodley. Did you see it?
Dan Hardy hosted?
I believe so. I'm
not sure. No. It wasn't like a sit down. That's the face off you're talking about, which was also awesome. Yeah, so BT Sport made like this I am Liverpool thing for Darren Till. Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Oh, was that when he was on the castle thing? Was it that little
Yes. It was just unbelievable.
So who's on this UFC Europe team that he's talking about?
I think it's Dan Hardy, and Dan Hardy did that face-off between Masvidal and Till, which if you guys haven't seen it, is phenomenal.
It was really good.
And this is for all shows, but Dan Hardy and John Gooden also do the inside the octagon thing. Dude, those European bubbas, you don't see them on all the big shows, but they are out there doing very, very solid work. What do you make of this? That if you've got it, for me, it's like if I'm the UFC, Danny, and I see BT Sport making this, I'm asking, how do we get more of that for all this stuff? Do you think there's a way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it becomes, well, first of all, get two guys that have British accents on the broadcast team. That's always nice.
I like that.
And also, we talk about like regionalizing, MMA and making stars. That's BT Sport working on their guy, So I think the USA team should do that more, For example, when, I know this is a pay-per-view, but when Stipe fought in Cleveland, right, that felt big.
Oh, yeah.
If you start, putting guys in their setting. Yeah, I mean, Yoel Romero's Sunrise doesn't really work, but yeah, I think as long as you tie people to communities, to where they're from, I think you can make something big, and I think that's what they're doing with Till.
I just like when anybody digs in to give you that kind of look at something. So regardless of what form it is, we were talking about, I guess, a week or two ago about how the shows happen so fast and furious that you don't get a chance to really examine a fighter going in or coming out. A lot of times you don't give them, their due, and especially some of these guys who are in situations like that where they have, a city or a country or whatever it is on their side. Like the Ponzinibbio thing, imagine the follow-up to that, like just a victory tour of what he was doing, visiting like all these high officials and all this stuff. I mean, to me, that stuff is fascinating that people get behind their guy that much. So I'd love to see more of it. But
JDS in Wichita.
Yeah, JDS in Wichita. I know Derek Lewis is from there as well.
What a homecoming.
Yeah.
All right, next. Brian Campbell, any word on the cryptic comments from Dana and Tony Ferguson regarding his family being in danger? Did you guys see these?
I just saw that before we started the show.
Isn't that the craziest thing?
Okay, let's hear it. I didn't know
All right,
about
so
this.
Dana, I would look, but I'm blocked in every
Same here.
possible manner. I guess on Instagram, someone was asking about Tony. He was saying he's going through a family situation right now. And then you had Tony being like, I'm not blocked by him on Twitter. Let me see real quickly what he said.
I saw he was on a blocking spree.
Yeah. He, you know what? Which I respect completely, by the way. Some people like to drink water from the tap. I like mine filtered. Here's what
City water's clean though.
Here's what he said. Oh, Jesus, there's a lot of stuff in here. Good Lord, he tweets a lot. I didn't even notice. I'm the type of guy that has been antagonized, provoked, and threatened to take and not take fights or certain opportunities to benefit monetarily. Otherwise, my family would have been hurt. Anyone know what he's talking about?
Wow.
Isn't that weird? Can someone please update my wiki picture? Can't stand up to cyberbullies.
I guess I didn't read it all the way. That's a pretty power. So we know nothing here. Is he talking about the UFC?
No, he says, I'm a company man, so please don't bash the company I work for, fans.
Okay.
But Dana's remark, I thought, was the one that was kind of crazy.
What was that?
Well, he was like, yeah, he's going through some personal stuff right now. Anybody heard anything?
No, man. This is all...
I've texted Tony a million times. Tony's a different guy. I text him, he doesn't answer anymore. But then he likes all my tweets.
Remember he gave you that weird thing at the 229?
Yeah, it was like a grip enhancer thing.
What do you do with it at your house?
It's here on the set for MMA Hour. Still on the set. It sits on the
Hope that
table. I
answered your
don't use it.
How's your grip?
I don't use it. I don't use it for that.
Campbell wants to borrow it.
Boys, can we stick to it? Do we have any concern?
Yeah, there's legitimate concern here, but it's so fresh and it's really hard to speculate exactly what that means. That's a very heavy statement that Tony's making. For Dana to just kind of sum it up under, he's got a family situation that sort of seems to soften, I guess, it softens the potential criminal side of it. But I need to know more. I need to hear more before I really can get into that.
This is something you don't want to speculate on, and I don't think there's much information out there to sort of draw conclusions.
There is.
I will say that I guess that kind of gives you some innuendo, I guess, as to why he's not taking the fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just going on. I know that all you hear is one side of things, which is basically that he's turning down a fight. So maybe there's something else in play.
We need to take back from last week criticizing him or anyone else that did for not taking the Max fight. If there's something,
I think that was just you.
I'll walk it right back into that camera.
Real strong convictions you're having there, huh? All right, next. Chuck, what fighter who has been off for an extended amount of time because of injury, suspension, contract disputes, blah, 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 are you most looking forward to seeing fight again, and why?
TJ Grant, man. As soon as he won that fight against Gray Maynard, I was excited to see him get that title.
Blast in the
Isn't that
past.
crazy, man?
Yeah.
TJ Grant just disappeared one day.
He's out there working in like mines,
It's
right?
true, yeah.
He's out there digging in the
I've
mountains.
tried to even get him like for a piece, and he's just like, he has no interest. He doesn't think it matters that much to do a piece. But I'm like, dude, you were like a title guy. Like, you were supposed to get a title shot. You just
Dana said he
disappeared.
was going to get the next
He was
shot.
making that exciting run and had the concussion issues.
Probably, yeah. There's probably more to what's going on. But man, who's returning?
It's got to be Nate Diaz, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I
your
would
number
say
one
that I was
choice.
going to say like far more than Nick Diaz at this point. But yeah, probably Nate Diaz.
I'll go deeper down the food chain and say Yoshihiro Akiyama with one. I mean, I've been a big Sexyama mark. I know.
Yeah, I could see
deep
that.
in
I
his
could see you
40s,
being that
we
guy.
can't expect much from him. But I mean, hey, Vitor Belfort, get off this Roy Jones train, which now they're saying it's verbally agreed to. Stop the madness. Can we get Sexyama Vitor? Come on, I'll get a 2013 TRT Mohawk to watch that one. I'll be fired up, you know.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Danny?
I would say the obvious one, like the one I'm most looking forward to is be the Diaz brothers, either or. I feel like Nate will come back at some point. Nick is the one that has a lot of questions around him, and that's someone I want to see back in the cage because I don't know. I feel like he still has some fight left in him.
What TJ Grant one, man.
It's so weird to say.
A lot of times guys get to these points where they're right at this moment where something big could happen for them, and through the craziest circumstance, things fall apart. Even the Tyron Woodley loss to Kamaru Usman, I think I made this point before, fans were starting to come around to him. He wasn't beefing with the promotion anymore. You beat Usman, you're in some serious heavyweight, welterweight territory, and right then, and he would have made a bunch of money. Could have gone and fought at middleweight. It's like the fight game is cruel, man. It is
No
so
Colby
cruel.
Covingtons, huh?
I would also
Hasn't been
throw
out
in
long
there-
enough.
I know. Ben Askren's like, no one would miss Colby Covington. I'd miss him.
I mean, I would also like to throw in there Anthony Johnson.
That's an interesting
I'd
one.
love to see him at heavyweight.
Oh,
That'd be
good
fun.
Lord, John
If
Jones.
he could
Anthony
make heavyweight,
Johnson at heavyweight.
If he can make
This
heavyweight, yeah, he's
Wow.
jacked.
I'd also see. I'd like to see Dominic Cruz's last
Yeah, that's
chapter
a good
here.
one.
I'd like to see Henan Brow get back on track. I still believe in the Baron era, and I've kind of fancied myself the Henan Brow of this desk.
There he is.
By that I mean the
I-
pound for pound king.
Post
God, the dad.
Post
humor.
Dillashaw up the row right here.
How bad are the dad jokes in your station wagon when you and the kids are on a road trip?
Wow. I'm pretty cool for a dad.
A lot of pull my finger stuff and that kind of thing.
Hey, it's coming for you. It's coming. All right?
Yeah. God, I know. All right, next. Table, does Tim Means' broken ankle after being KO'd help settle the debate around Velasquez versus Francis?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm not sure that I agree, but I like the question. Who wants it?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it just proves that, look, it's totally possible to get knocked out and then, or rocked, and then in the process, suffer an injury because of it.
Yeah.
What kind of insult to injury is that, man? I mean,
I know.
the guy goes for it.
Terrible
gets
injury,
sent
too.
gets his soul taken, and then that, oh, man. Oh.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah,
hard to watch.
Anytime you get that Alex Smith spiral fracture, I'm always like, "Oof." That is it's a bad one.
Yeah.
I don't know why people like. I had Mickey Gall on MMA Hour on Monday, and the dude literally had to go to the hospital because his kidneys failed. Okay, this is a real thing that happened, and everyone online was like, this guy's a malingerer. I saw him talking about how easy weight was going to be made. I don't know what fans expect. It's like, dude, you know that's all for show, right? All the pre-fight, I'm so tough stuff. Like, it's not, when Conor says it, he means it. No, it's just show. Like, I'm sure he intends to follow through on winning. I don't suspect that that's not in play. But, like, fans take pre-fight talk, which is almost 99.9% designed for nothing but entertainment, and they ascribe value to it, even if there's, like, actions associated with it. I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just to get you to watch.
Deep into the weeds. That's a big part of why people watch.
Do they really think that he was malingering, that he didn't have a kidney issue?
No, but you could see where they get caught up in it. It's almost like watching pro wrestling and buying into what you're seeing on the screen.
Right, which is why I don't.
Wait, but look, there's a reason why people get into fights. Some people love just the straight violence. Some people love just the straight technique and strategy. And then some people like me love the pageantry, the big fight feel, the trash talk. The
Okay, but do you think that Mickey Gall was malingering?
No, in that case I don't. But there's a lot of real idiotic people online who just say the first thing they think of. You ever read the comment section on this show?
I do not.
Guys don't want to lose their
It's a
fight.
den of sin, I'm telling you.
Guys don't want to lose their spot in their fight. I mean, you know what I mean? You hear a guy, Derek Lewis, we just heard had a surgery or something between fights. I mean, you didn't hear anything about that in the lead up. I know gamblers would be very excited to hear about everything that's really going on, but I've been told from fighters like straight up during fight week, like this is the best camp I've ever had, best shape of my life. You hear that stuff all the time, and then you find out right afterward that they were battling staph infection and they had this and they had that. And you're like, Jesus, what are you straight up were saying this was the best shape you've ever been in.
I know. It's like, dude, and again, I'm not making a moral judgment. It's a strategic call that they are making, and I understand it at this point. But dude, they lie all the time.
Yeah.
They lie all the time to the media, right? The thing for me this is eternal debate. It's like, no excuse. I'm like, why? Like, why can't you make an excuse? Like, why were you late for class? I got hit by a car. Okay, well, seems to be a significant reason for why you would have been late to class. No excuses, bro. Either you make it to class or you don't. Well, geez, guys. If I get carjacked, can I be late? Is that okay? Why can't, dude, you're talking about a brutal sport that requires outrageous training loads. And these guys are going to get injured or nicked or dinged or whatever, or, someone's mother is going to be sick or they're going to lose money or, like, why can't that play a role? This is humanity. We live in the real world. All of these, if you didn't get a good night's sleep, that affects how you do your job, how you write. If the train's delayed, it affects if you get here. If you, I don't know, anything can, all these things affect job performance. Why can't that be a real thing? I've never understood that.
They're warriors.
You
gotta give them a chance to be warriors.
For warriors, bro. All right. I guess we wanted to, they have to be perfect at all times, I guess. Next. Since Brian seems to ingest more caffeine than is medically advisable, I'm curious, what are your favorite caffeinated drinks? I guess the bigger question is here, who drinks coffee on the panel? Besides me.
I do.
All of us?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Do you have any other caffeinated drinks you like? I guess technically,
Jolt Cola.
I guess technically a Beam and Coke Zero is caffeinated. Hey-oo.
Mostly coffee for me.
How do you drink your coffee?
I mean, hot, just with milk.
Yeah.
That's it.
No sweetener?
Not usually, no. I mean, I don't turn it down, like, if that's the way it's served, but if I'm ordering it myself, it's just with milk. Yeah. But I mean, ultimately, I like coffee, so I'll drink it all morning, basically.
Yeah. Coffee. I hate energy drinks. I think.
Really?
Yeah, energy drinks.
I love them.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta stay away.
They make me feel weird.
I can't do it. Yeah,
They're
jittery.
cocaine in a
I
can,
can't.
but if I'm gonna go down that route, you gotta go with those.
I do like
cold
cocaine.
Starbucks. You ever get into the cold Starbucks ones?
The cold brew joints?
The can. It's basically like a Monster Energy drink.
Yeah.
But Starbucks puts it on. It's coffee flavored. That thing will change your life.
Yeah, Jolt used to be the thing in the day, where on the label it would say, I don't know if they've made its way to Europe, but on the label it would be like Jolt Cola, twice the caffeine, twice the sugar.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't
sounds
really.
healthy.
Yeah, it's like you can't really do that in 2019. But when I was a kid, they had
I know, I
Jolt
remember
Cola,
that.
man,
That
and
was a big
it was like. Yeesh. If there's a podcast I could recommend, the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, I think that's the proper corporation, whatever the abbreviation properly is. They did a 2-season series of podcasts. I've mentioned it before, but they did one especially on caffeine. The series is called On Drugs, and it's a way in which drugs interact with us in real life. So music on drugs, in prison, and for rehabilitating injury, everything. They did a huge special on caffeine and the history of caffeine and everything, and why it was banned, by anti-doping authorities, but then taken off, and like what role it plays. But basically, one of the things that they had shown is that you can have too much caffeine, and doctors basically agree there's got to be some point where caffeine can be medically inadvisable, especially if you can get it like concentrated forms. But if you're drinking sodas and whatnot, every time there's been an incident, virtually every time there's been an incident. Remember Rampage driving his truck? It was also married, if you recall, with incredible sleep deprivation, and he was not eating anything. In other words, caffeine by itself gets maligned as like, this is a thing you don't want to have too much of. It turns out much of that is not really true. You can have a metric ton of it, provided there's some other conditions in play, without any real health consequences. So
Well, it
That's good
depends
enough.
what's in with the caffeine. I mean,
yes, that's true.
you drink 6 20-ounce bottles of Coke Zero a day.
But that's all.
you're
But take the caffeine out. That would just be a medically inadvisable amount of sugar.
right. I don't think it's great for your heart in the long run to.
Turns out it's not nearly as bad as people think. I'm telling you, please listen to the episode. They talk about the media. Again, anytime a drug enters society, there's media hysteria around it, whether it's marijuana, whether it's caffeine, whether it's anything. And they trace all the ways in which caffeine was maligned and how all those studies ended up being false.
Interesting.
Good to know, because I've been drinking coffee since I was like 7. So.
So about 4 years, huh?
Yeah,
But you had the little ones, right? Or you had big cups.
No, yeah, I've always drinking a lot of coffee.
Yeah, really?
Always.
That's funny. You put sugar in it?
Sometimes I switch it up because I get bored sometimes of the flavors. So sometimes I'll have it just black. Sometimes I'll have it with a little bit of milk. Sometimes I'll have milk and sugar. Sometimes just black and sugar. So I change
Mix it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the one thing I'm hoping. I'm hoping that artificial sweeteners aren't going to kill me, because I have, buddy, I keep Splenda in business by myself.
Your cell phone in your front pocket probably do it.
Yeah, no, that's another number I should just figure out. All right, next. Just check the rankings, and Nate Diaz still occupies a top 15 spot. Is this the biggest rankings travesty at the moment?
Wow. Weird.
Aren't all UFC rankings a travesty?
Pretty much, but there are.
It's funny. How long has it been since he's fought?
So he last fought at what?
August
2002?
2016.
No,
202.
202.
Oh, 2, yeah.
Jesus, that long?
Yeah.
Wasn't he taken off the rankings for
He
less
was.
time?
That's what's
because
funny
of-
about that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I don't know what to make of that, man. I mean, I try not to actually pin any real anything to the rankings anymore, but to
you
use it
have
as
to.
kind
They
of
matchmake
you have
based on
to
it.
on like a almost like a roadmap for what they're thinking, So you have to kind of do it. And in general, I think the rankings still kind of give you all the names and numbers to kind of mix
Yeah.
and match. But as stuff like that, there's really no rhyme or reason. I mean, he shouldn't be on there. I mean, there's really been no indication other than him coming back at the MSG card. That was legit and it just fell apart? I don't remember how that whole thing
Poirier
went.
got hurt.
Poirier
Oh, is
got
that what
hurt,
happened?
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, he has made an attempt to come back, I guess.
And now Nate says on social media that UFC's freezing him out.
Yeah.
He responds.
But still, I mean, it's
Did he?
been...
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
He's mentioned it a couple times.
yeah?
People are saying like you're turned down fights, and he's like, no, it's the opposite. They're freezing me. So
How's that possible?
who are you gonna? It's the Diaz's versus Dana. You got to pick and choose.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Yeah, the only thing about the rankings that really drives me crazy is, one, they do have more value than people realize. Every time I have a fighter and I speak to them, they're like, yeah, but that guy's
care.
ranked this.
Yeah.
And, they really, if for no other reason than they're thinking, what's my next fight? And they use that as an approximate roadmap. But the other one is, this one kills me, and I've had this debate with people before, is when a champion loses and then they automatically become the number one contender.
Yeah. That one's-
Drives me crazy. Cannot believe people do that and think that that's okay. Especially, like, remember Jose Aldo got finished twice. Like, number one contender, bro. I'm like, you really mean to tell me, after losing like this in back-to-back fights, that's the most qualified guy to get the next title shot?
Because they think of it like only in the sense of like, he lost to the guy in front, that's it though.
Yes.
So they can't...
Rather than as a stock market for the present
Yes,
moment, not
right.
the overall cap value.
Yes,
What's going to
there are
happen
major
first?
problems like
They'll
that.
shut down the women's featherweight division, or they'll post their first ever women's featherweight rankings.
Good one. They'll shut it down before they put rankings.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, we had a good run.
Megan Anderson thinks that they're signing people. I certainly hope she's right for her own sake, but good Lord, yeah.
You could do it. I mean, PFL's got a whole lightweight tourney going on, right, with the women?
Yeah, filled with flyweights and bantamweights. And Yeah, good Lord. I was looking down that list and I saw Sarah Kaufman. I was like, wow. You know, she got guts, man. She's been looking for a fight and she couldn't get it. I think she's been looking for a road back to the UFC and she couldn't get it. This came along and she said,
What
well.
did she do? She doesn't know what held her back from the UFC, right?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't like her. I don't know what it is. But she was sitting there in Invicta being like, can I get a fight? Can I get a fight? Can I get a fight? And so finally she got a fight, but she has to fight 2 weight classes up against Kayla freaking Harrison.
There is $1 million at the end of that road, though.
Yeah, good luck getting it from Kayla Harrison. Good Lord. All right, next. The real question is, what type of pie do you enjoy on National Pie Day? I want to answer this last.
Didn't that just happen?
I want to see what you zeros have to say about this.
I had no pie on. When was that? Like yesterday?
Yeah, okay, but when you have pie,
So if I was going to have it, I like cherry pie.
Really?
Ooh, okay, that's an interesting call.
Yeah.
Tastes so good, make a grown man cry.
Yeah.
Here comes the dad joke.
How about you?
Chocolate cream pie is the best pie.
Is that a pie?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's the absolute best. Actually, there's only one.
I like chess pie.
There's only one pie better than that.
Southern.
I have it on Thanksgiving. Meat pie, French-Canadian dish. Have you ever had that? It's got beef, pork, and chicken in it, and it's baked into a pie crust, and it ends up looking
It's like a shepherd's pie?
It ends up looking like spicy ground.
See, I didn't know we were incorporating the savory side. I thought we were.
Oh yeah, meat pie is the way to live.
It said pie.
Your beard would coincide with me. I'm
is that
surprised you haven't
pizza
had
too?
it.
Pizzas or pies,
It's very
right?
manly.
It sounds like
dish.
shepherd's pie.
No, it's not really shepherd. There's no mashed potato.
Like layering it? No?
No, but I could see you getting down.
That does sound good,
All right,
actually.
Danny?
Yeah. I like apple pie, and I also like key lime pie too.
Key lime is
lime's
really
fire.
good.
Got to be done right.
I want to make a point about this.
Some that are-
People have these eternal debates about cake or pie, which is a stupid debate, so let me end it for you. Pies are what you throw in a clown's face. Cakes are what you serve royalty when they visit your country or you have a wedding. This idea that pies are even a pimple on the rear end of cakes is some weird conspiracy floated by people who rummage out of the garbage right down there.
Pies.
I know.
Setting us up.
I can't, no, it just kills me. It just kills me when I see people being like, dude, pies are better than cakes. I'm like, yes, if you're blind and you have no taste buds, that must be a thing.
Banana cream pie?
Again, show me a clown's face. I'm happy to insert
Boston
it.
cream?
This argument
That's a
makes no
donut.
sense.
That's
You
a donut.
should have went back to the PED well. You wasted our time.
Why?
Pie is fantastic.
Your grandma never made the pecan
Pie
pie
is
out there?
fantastic in the same way that, like, I don't know. How can I explain this? What's the best? Yes, pies are fantastic in the same way that driving a Toyota Tercel is better than walking, but not as nice as a Mercedes.
Get out of here.
I
don't think so?
I enjoy both.
I'll take my
to be
dad
honest.
jokes
I like
over
both.
that reach you just made.
Good variation.
I honestly, pies are something that's like, okay, if there's one there, you seek it out. Cakes are designed for the big moments of your life, your birthdays, your weddings.
You ever been to a Thanksgiving party and there's like 7 kinds of pie on the dessert table? It's
Yeah, and by the way, most people cook them poorly. They're not very good. Cakes are hard to mess up.
That might be true. That part's true.
Right?
Pies are hard.
I've had a lot of
Oh, look, it's Macron from France is visiting the president. Let's get some key lime pie. No one does that. You reserve that for when the circus comes to town. Put it in the clown's face. Everyone else, cake.
Coconut cream pie?
Again, wonderful for Bozo the Clown. But when dignitaries come, you do it the right way.
Key lime pie.
All right. Well, if I have dignitaries visit anytime.
When I come to your house, you will treat me as such. All
Does that
right.
pair well with hate metal at all?
Hate metal? I'm not sure what hate metal would be. No, it wouldn't. You know what cake pairs well with? Anything better than pie does. That's what I know. All right.
Cake is good. I can't.
Look, if you didn't like the questions, I can only pull the best from what we are given. So we got to step it up,
Put it on
fellas.
the people.
Ladies,
Put it on
yes,
these people.
I blame all of you. No, I'm teasing. Please keep sending them using the hashtag #TheMMABeat. Always appreciate it when you do.
Where's Jed with our sloppy fight of the week?
Yeah, you know what? Probably being lazy like he normally is.
Usually a little drunk.
I've literally never. Yeah, he's either drunk, and I've never met a person lazier than Jed Meshew. I want him to know that. All right, we're out of here. We got to go. We appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy UFC London this week. We guys. I hope you got at least a little bit ready for it, and should be a lot of fun. Okay, for Chuck. By the way, Pete C. Carroll, I believe, is going to be on site for MMA Fighting. So watch out for his coverage. For Chuck, for Brian, for Danny, I'm Luke. Until next time, hands up, chin down, let them fly. Cakes are better than pie.